Okay, guys, the audience. And me. Alright, go.
Today I will introduce the important culture of the Japanese event, which is the cherry blossom viewing. There are 4 seasons during the year, and each individual must have the favorite seasons. Like some people say summer, because of the sea bathing, and some other people say which is the winter because of the winter sports, and some other people say the autumn, because of the excellent atmospheric temperature and the fruits. And today I would like to introduce the history, issues, and the future of cherry blossom viewing in Japan during the spring season. Cherry blossom viewing is the convention celebrating the coming of spring with appreciating blossoms, so it attracts widespread popularity as Japanese characteristic, custom, and history. According to David E. Sanger, Ohanami, as Japanese call their annual manner of cherry blossom viewing, is one part celebration of spring and one part Japanese excuse for the party. In Japan, people often conduct a banquet under the full-blown cherry blossom. So lots of people leave the uneaten food and the garbage on the ground and they dip. And this is one of the issues of cherry blossom viewing. Lots of cherry blossoms throughout Japan reach their life duration, so local residents try to conduct life-sustaining support for the future of Japanese custom. Cherry blossom viewing is the extant custom of Japan, so Japanese people have to protect and support its custom and history by solving these issues. I would like to introduce the cherry blossom viewing history today. And the history has started since another period around 710 to 793. At first, people admire plum trees for viewing, but people have started admire cherry blossom at Heian period around 794 to 1185. At the time, cherry blossom viewing was the festival of Japanese barons. After 800 years later, during the Edo period, cherry blossom penetrated into the culture of ordinary people. This is the history of the cherry blossom viewing. According to Sarah Kumbar, cherry blossom viewing is the major spring event in Japan, and has been for a century. Old wood block prints depict the people sitting under the blossoms. These days, newscasts lead off with the shots of revealers in much the same conditions, except the kimono have been replaced by navy suits now. So therefore, the style of cherry blossom viewing has been changed since it started. And it has the long culture. As a period, cherry blossom came to attract more attention, and hanami was the synonymous with it. From the period, cherry blossom appeared on the scene of Japanese oldest poetry. It is Manyoshu, which contains 4,500 poetries and poetries that various positions of people read. There are 42 poetries and mention cherry blossom. Once cherry blossom were in the full bloom, they usually only last for about a week, and before all the petals fall to the ground. This is one of the poetries in the Manyoshu. 足引きの山桜花ひ並べて格差来たらばいたく小姫はも It means if the cherry trees in the mountain bloom for the many days, you will not love the cherry flowers so much. This poetry expresses that people might love the cherry blossoms because of its fragile. According to Mashuna, the Japanese have a deep bond with the sakura and hanami are just one element in a long tradition of appreciation. Also, the participants and their activities have changed somewhat over the century. During the Heian period, people read poetry about cherry blossoms, but today the tradition has been changed for centuries. In the cherry blossom viewing has also the issues, which is undesired sound. The people brings the karaoke and the fireworks, and it causes huge sound and a bright light during all night. So as a result, residents around the park cannot sleep enough during the season of cherry blossom viewing, and also sometimes the fireworks cause like fire, like because there is so many trees. And the second issue is the students making party. According to Alan Brander, also many making groups of all ages celebrate the colorful burst of the spring. For the college students, Hanami are a special occasion. They generally occur shortly before the start of the new academic year and are time for the old classmates to come together. The Hanami reinforced the role of the drinking praise in Japanese student culture and indeed in Japanese culture in general. So because of this issue, lots of students are carried to hospital because of acute alcoholic intoxication during the viewing season. And last issue is the garbage issue. After the viewing, lots of people leave much garbage, and such as like empty cans and uneaten food, and on the ground and go home. So there's a research and explained of the garbage issue. The research compares the amount of the garbage of two groups, Ego and the Eco Viewing team. Ego team brings the all disposal items such as dishes, cups, food, drinks, and napkins, like all bought in the grocery stores. On the other hand, Eco team brings all items that are not disposal, that it's there from house. Eco team weighs 9 pounds of the garbage, but Eco team weighs only 2 pounds. As a result, people can reduce the garbage and save the nature by bringing the items from the house. So the cherry blossom viewing requires like manner and responsibility. The future of the cherry blossom, like because of the fire, lots of the cherry trees are diminished, and because of the garbage, many parks are closed by the local community. So in the life duration, like early future, like most of the cherry trees are categorized as Somei Yoshino, and it has only 60 years life duration. And most of cherry trees were planted 50 years ago in Japan. Therefore, they reach the life duration in the near future. So local community and residents try to prolong the existing cherry trees and transplant other types of cherry trees at park, and therefore the season of fruit bloom is slightly different today. So each cherry blossoms has like different time, like they have the fruit bloom. Today, cherry blossom viewing is not only Japanese culture. In America, people can see fruit bloom cherry trees at lots of places, such as Washington D.C. and New York and extra. Local citizens, like American citizens, really enjoy watching fruit bloom cherry blossom. This is the Washington D.C. According to Browski Sandy, the Japanese have a word hanami for the flower viewing, and many thousand visitors are expecting the Botanical Garden tomorrow and Sunday for the 22nd annual Cherry Blossom Festival, known as the Sakura Matsuri. On the festival schedule are more than 50 performances and demonstrations, exhibits of traditional Japanese music and dance and crafts and martial arts, including drumming and original making, featuring leading artists from New York and Japan. So it's like Japan and American collaboration. That's good festival. So cherry blossom viewing is Japanese typical wonderful culture. This is also the typical seasonal Japanese event during the spring. People need to solve some issues of the viewing because it is Japanese history culture and it is necessary to save its future. Thank you very much.